The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
This is the Eagles Sports Network. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head softball coach Michael Graves. Michael, time to debut the 2020, weird to say 2020, schedule, and a schedule for your second full year as head coach. What do you hope to accomplish when you put this slate together?
Well, we're trying to play some different teams, and I thought last year we had a pretty tough schedule, and so strength of schedule is still going to be there for us, but we're just trying to mix it up and see some different teams.
Some of the old teams that you faced year after year are still on there. A College World Series team in Young Harris lines the slate, as does Georgia College, who's a perennial Southeast region competitor. What do you hope those types of games give your team a chance to do?
Young Harris is good. I expect them to return a lot. I think she lost a pitcher, maybe two, but she had a good hitting team. Georgia College, I was real impressed with them last year. She was very young, started several freshmen. Jamie's always good at what she does, so they'll be tough again.
But you then add in they're a familiar foe, but an unfamiliar foe, at least in recent history. Lee and Carson-Newman played a bunch in the 1990s, but the Flames are back on the schedule. How exciting is it to renew that old NAIA rivalry?
Well, I mean, she's close. I mean, it's within 2 hours in the state of Tennessee, and so it'll be an in-region game for us. They've got a pretty good team down there, and I don't know a whole lot about it. Like I said, we hadn't played in a few years, so should be fun to do, though. Maybe we can continue and get the rivalry back together.
You add in a tournament down in Chattanooga, and the slate for that hasn't been finalized yet, but certainly hopefully some big-name teams that you get to square off there. Just how important is a strong strength of schedule after you hosted a regional last year?
Well, I think the most important thing when putting the schedule together is strength of schedule. I mean, it does you no good to go out and play teams with losing records and stuff, so I try not to schedule a bunch of teams like that and just try to compete against good teams. We were scheduled to play Indianapolis and Shorter there when they put the schedule together, so I hope we get a chance to still play both of them.
A conference schedule that starts a little earlier than typical. First conference game is against Mars Hill on Leap Day. You don't have 6 weeks to get ready for league action. What's that like, knowing after you first put bat to ball on February 4th that you've literally got 25 days before the games that matter just a little bit more start to creep up?
Well, we talked about it a little bit in fall practice and before they left for break that, we don't have a lot of time once they get back as far as playing our first game, much less playing conference game, at the end of the month. So we messed around last year and lost a few conference games that we shouldn't have, and we've talked about that a lot. So hopefully we'll be more mentally prepared in those games.
It was such a bizarre league last year. I think going into the final week, you could win the thing or you could finish dead last. The parity was just unbelievable out of the SAC last year. Does it feel like it's set up, hopefully, for not quite as close of a race in 2020, but there's a lot of good teams in this conference?
Well, hopefully, I always think hopefully that we have recruited better than everybody else. But in the SAC, you've got a bunch of good teams. I always thought, and I said it last year, I thought Mars Hill was one of the better teams in the conference, and where they finished down towards the bottom.
Yeah, they missed the tournament.
Yeah, I thought they were the best hitting team in the conference. So she's got a new coach there, and I think she'll be good. So hopefully she lost some big hitters.
Lenore Ryan is obviously back. Wingate is back with a new head coach. You get to face both of those teams here in Mossy Creek. How valuable is that some big games are played at the home grounds?
It's very valuable. We like to take care of the house, and it's weird. I think we get 3 of the 4 big teams in the conference every year at home, and then, it's bad the next year.
All right, Michael Graves, thanks for the time. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
That's Carson-Newman head softball coach Michael Graves. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, and this is the Eagles Sports Network.